My name is Lily. I'm 27 years old. I live in London. I make £865,000 a year on OnlyFans. And this is exactly how I spend it. OnlyFans takes 20% off the top before any of it reaches me. What remains after that cut is £865,000 a year. I am self-employed, which means I handle everything myself. Tax, pension, insurance, the lot. No employer, no sick pay. No one at a desk somewhere making sure I am all right. Some places just make sense for certain kinds of life. London is one of them. If you can figure it out. I have figured it out. So, my income. All of it comes from OnlyFans. Let me break it down properly because it is not one stream. It is 4, and they work very differently from each other. Pre-tax annual income, £865,000. Here is exactly where that comes from. Subscriptions, £456,000 a year. This is my base. My subscription is set at £12 a month, and I have around 3,200 active subscribers on average across the year. This is the floor. The reliable, recurring part of the business that comes in whether I'm having a strong month or a quiet one. It is the closest thing I have to a regular income, except I set the rate myself and nobody can cut it. Pay-per-view. £264,000 a year. This is where the real money lives. I send content directly to subscribers' inboxes, and they pay separately to unlock it. Some messages are £8, some are £40, depending on what it is. This is the most demanding part of the job. It needs daily attention, daily sending, daily follow-up. But the margin is higher than anything else I do, and when it is working well, it works considerably better than subscriptions alone. Custom content. £102,000 a year. One-off commissions. A subscriber wants something specific, I make it, they pay a rate I set. It is unpredictable. Some months this barely moves, other months it adds £15,000 that simply did not exist the month before. Across a full year, it adds up to more than most people earn in 3 or 4 years, which I still find slightly strange to say out loud. Referrals. £43,000 a year. OnlyFans pays me a percentage of earnings from creators I referred to the platform. I referred 3 people in 2022. They're still active. This stream requires no ongoing work from me whatsoever. I find that genuinely funny every time I think about it. Total pre-tax annual income, £865,000. Most people assume this is simpler than it is. One thing you do and then money appears. Running it properly is more like managing 4 separate income lines at once, each with different margins and different levels of effort attached. And OnlyFans takes their 20% before any of these figures reach me. Everything I have quoted is what actually lands in my account after that cut is already gone. Now here is where it gets painful. Post-tax. Pre-tax annual income, £865,000. That is the starting point. By the time HMRC is finished with it, the picture looks quite different. Income tax and national insurance for the year, £437,417. Because I am self-employed, I pay Class 2 and Class 4 national insurance myself. There is no employer splitting the NI bill with me. Both sides come entirely out of my pocket. And at this level of income, I am well into the 45% additional rate band, which I did not know existed 3 years ago and now think about more than I would like. HMRC does not care how the money was earned. They want their share. They are very consistent about this. Pension contributions for the year, £21,600 into my SIP. I contribute this specifically because it reduces my taxable income. It is not a virtue. It is arithmetic. My accountant explained it once, and I set up the standing order that afternoon. Total annual take-home after tax, NI and pension, £405,983. Total monthly take-home, £33,832. Sounds like a lot, except I also pay for my own health insurance, my own equipment, my own everything. There is no employer picking any of that up quietly in the background. No sick pay, no pension match from anyone but me. If I stop working, the income stops. It is that simple. Last year, I paid more in tax than most people I grew up with will earn in the next decade. I mention this not to be strange about it. I just think it is worth saying when people assume this kind of work exists outside the normal system. I am very much inside the normal system. HMRC has made absolutely sure of that. So that is the money in. Now here is how it leaves. Monthly expenses. Responsible stuff first. Rent, £4,200 a month. I have a one-bedroom flat in Marylebone, which I am aware is not the most sympathetic sentence I will say in this video. It has good natural light from the west-facing windows, which matters when you shoot content in your own home, and it is walkable to most of where I need to be. I moved here from a flat share in Bethnal Green 18 months ago, when the income made it sensible. I have not looked back. Council tax and utilities, £380 a month. Council tax band H, naturally. Electric, water, broadband. The broadband is fast because I upload large files constantly, and slow internet is not a situation I am willing to be in. Transport, £290 a month. An Oyster card I use a handful of times a month when the journey makes sense, and Ubers for everything else. London is not a city where owning a car is a rational decision if you have any sense and access to a phone. I have both. Groceries, £520 a month. Waitrose on Marylebone High Street for most things. Borough Market on weekends when I want something specific. I know, but a lot of what I buy is for content. Things that look a certain way on camera. So the line between personal groceries and a business expense is blurrier than my accountant would like. Subscriptions, £195 a month. Adobe Creative Cloud, a scheduling tool for my posts, iCloud at 2 terabytes because the content files alone would fill a standard plan in about a week. A VPN, Netflix, Spotify. I went through the list 6 months ago and canceled everything I was not actively using, which felt very responsible for approximately 1 day. Total responsible spending, £5,585 a month, which is, I am aware, more than a lot of people's monthly take-home. I have thought about that. Then there is everything else. Bonus spending. Monthly florist, £280. Standing order with a florist in Paddington. Fresh arrangements every Monday and Thursday. The flat needs to look a certain way on camera. Clean, considered, a little expensive without shouting about it. Fresh flowers are part of that. This is a business expense. Mostly. Private Pilates instructor, £620 a month. Twice a week, a studio near Sloane Square. My body is literally my business. I don't say that to be clever. It is just the most accurate description of the situation. Keeping it in good condition is not optional, and I treat it accordingly. Monthly art budget, £400. Last month, a small oil print from a gallery in Fitzrovia. The month before, a ceramic from a maker I found online. I have no particular plan for where any of it goes. I just liked it. I don't know what that says about me, and I have decided not to find out. Restaurants, £2,200 a month. The Wolseley for breakfast when I want a morning to feel a certain way. Brat when I want food that actually tastes like something. Quo Vadis occasionally, which is expensive enough that I feel it briefly, and then I don't. I eat out because I can, because I'm genuinely bad at cooking, and I've made peace with both of those things completely. Beauty and aesthetics, £850 a month. Hair every 3 weeks, skin treatments, nails, all of it is technically part of the job. The line between professional upkeep and personal spending stopped being clear a long time ago, and my accountant has stopped asking me to draw it. Total bonus spending, £4,350 a month. Written down, it looks different to how it feels when I'm actually spending it. I'm aware that's probably the point. That's the spending. Here's what I'm actually building. Savings. This is the part I'm actually most proud of. But before I get to the total, there is one thing I want to say first. There's someone I send money to every month. It's not on the spreadsheet because it doesn't feel like it belongs there. My younger sister lives in Sheffield. She's 23. She works in a cafe and she's figuring out what comes next, which is a position I remember very clearly. I send her £1,500 a month. I set up the transfer the same week I first understood that this income wasn't going to be temporary. When she found out what I do, properly found out, not the vague version she'd been telling herself, she didn't speak to me for about 6 weeks. That was hard. When she did call, she said she didn't understand it and probably never would. I told her she didn't have to. I showed her my bank statements and my tax returns. I said I'm building something, and it's real, and I'm not going to stop. She didn't say she was proud, but she stopped worrying about me, which is the same thing. She still doesn't fully understand it. I don't think that will change. But the money goes every first of the month, and she has never once asked me to stop sending it, which tells you most of what you need to know about how that conversation actually landed. Right, total net worth. Okay, so let me walk through all of it properly, because the total only makes sense when you see what it's actually made of. ISA, £50,000. 3 years of maxing the annual allowance, sitting in a global index fund. Goes in every April, and I don't look at it again until the following April. Pension SIP, £54,000. 2.5 years of contributions at £21,600 a year. Tax relief means HMRC is effectively topping part of this up for me, which remains one of the more satisfying sentences in my financial life. Taxable investment account, £280,000. This is the biggest number, and honestly, the one I'm most proud of. Monthly contributions, global index funds, left to grow. The individual shares portion I'd rather not discuss. Cash savings, £85,000. 6 months of expenses, high-yield savings account, accessible immediately. The safety net, non-negotiable. Property fund, £103,000. Separate account, separate card, completely untouched. This is the London deposit, and it goes nowhere else. Add all of that up, ISA, pension, investments, cash, property fund, and my total net worth sits at £572,000. 3 years ago, I was making £28,000 a year doing freelance content work, living with 3 other people in a flat in Peckham where the boiler broke every winter and nobody wanted to be the one to call the landlord. £572,000 didn't exist in any version of my future back then. It still feels slightly unreal if I'm honest. Just less unreal than it used to. Which, if I'm being honest with myself, might actually be the problem. Here's what comes next. Short term. Buy the flat. I want to own property in London within the next 18 months. The target is around £950,000. I've done the maths, and the maths works. I'm not going to perform surprise about this. Medium term. Build something that doesn't depend on my face or my body. I've been thinking about this seriously for about a year. A product line, possibly skincare, possibly something in the creator consulting space. I've been approached by other OnlyFans creators who want help structuring what they do as an actual business rather than just a posting schedule. I haven't committed to anything yet, but the intention is becoming more concrete. The platform risk is real, and I want to be honest about it. OnlyFans changed its content policy in 2021 and reversed within weeks, but that period was clarifying. A platform that can announce the removal of your income stream on a Tuesday afternoon with no warning is not somewhere you should put your entire future. The cash buffer, the ISA, the investment account, the property fund, all of it is partly about not being completely at the mercy of a decision made in a boardroom I will never be in. Dating in London with this income and this job is its own situation. Some people are fine with it from the start. More say they're fine with it. And then over the following weeks, it becomes clear they're really not. That the problem was never the job, but what the job suggests to them about who I am. I've stopped bringing it up in the first conversation. That feels like a compromise I shouldn't have to make. But that's where I am. London men, in my experience, have a very particular relationship with a woman who earns more than them and needs nothing from them. It is an interesting thing to observe from close range. I know what people assume when they hear what I do. I've heard most of the versions by now. I find I care about it less every year, which is either growth or just the natural result of having £572,000 saved and nowhere obvious to put the anxiety. Here's what is true. I pay more in tax than most people earn. I have over £500,000 saved. I support my family. I built all of this without a degree, without investment, without anyone opening a door for me, on a platform that most people still feel entitled to have an opinion about, entirely on my own terms. So people can think whatever they want to think. I'm building something, and I'm not going to stop.